Thousands of people have taken the day off work and school to catch a glimpse of the Queen as she toured Queensland for the first time in almost a decade. Her Majesty and the Duke of Edinburgh spent just over 4 hours in the Sunshine State, but they packed plenty in with a focus on the city's recovery from the January floods.
It was a perfect spring day in Brisbane, fit for a Queen.
The crowd's giving a little cheer, the flags are waving, and it's on. Brisbane welcomes Her Majesty the Queen and Prince Philip.
The royal couple was again met by a female welcoming committee, Queensland Governor Penelope Wensley and Premier Anna Bligh, who admitted earlier to having a few nerves.
I think I'm like a lot of people who'll be meeting her today, a little bit of butterflies in the stomach.
Dressed in a mint green coat and hat, Her Majesty and Prince Philip began the short drive from the airport to Brett's Wharf. There they boarded the luxury wave-piercing catamaran, Pure Adrenaline.
I think that's how everybody would be feeling today. The adrenaline would be running high.
And it was, as well-wishers, both young and old, were waiting for the Queen at South Bank. Some were waiting from before dawn.
5 or 6 hours.
We got here at 4:15.
Like, really excited.
I couldn't sleep last night.
Others were waiting for a royal reunion.
I saw her first in Lismore in 1954 and I was 16, and I think if she's coming out here when she's 85 and I'm now 74, I will come and see her. I've come from northern New South Wales.
With the Premier by her side, Her Majesty cruised 11 kilometres down the Brisbane River, touring areas that were devastated by floods just 9 months ago. Meeting disaster victims will be a highlight of the Queen's lightning-quick tour.
And I think it'll mean a lot to them. I think it will say to them that they haven't been forgotten, and that while it's not on the front page, people around the world understand they're still getting their lives back together.
Back on dry land, Her Majesty was all smiles as she was greeted by dozens of children. Remarkable access for the tiny well-wishers, given security at South Bank was so tight.
You wouldn't imagine that you'd be allowed to get quite that close. They've come outside of the barricades I see there.
But it wasn't just the little ones excited by the Queen today. An estimated 45,000 people turned out to catch a glimpse of Her Majesty on a day that Queensland rekindled its romance with royalty. Penny Gosson, 7 News.
Let's go to Chris Reason now, who's at Kangaroo Point. Chris, good afternoon to you. Now, the Queen had more official business before she flew out, including a meeting with disaster victims.
Yeah, that's right, Sam. That's what this was all about today, getting this tour of the river and getting to meet those victims. It was all about the floods from 9 months ago. She got to meet some people who'd simply lost absolutely everything in those floods. And we're not just talking about the floods here in Brisbane, of course, the ones up in Grantham, and then also the Cyclone Yasi, that hit shortly afterwards. And also she got to meet some of the rescue workers, and some of the volunteers have been involved in the clear-up. It was some emotional meetings there, we're told, and very important for some of those survivors of the floods to get that opportunity with the Queen today. So, yeah, but she moved on from there. She had a lunch with the Queensland Governor and then made her way back to the airport, and we're told that she's just boarded her plane and started to make her way back down to Canberra. OK, a very busy day. Rezo, it seemed like there was a huge crowd to meet the Queen today. Sam, it was just extraordinary. I've followed this, as you know, since the Queen arrived here last Wednesday night, and crowds that gathered here on the banks of the Brisbane River today simply dwarfed the numbers of the last 4 or 5 days. The police have told us that figure, 45,000 people. That's simply extraordinary. You know that famous British photographer Arthur Edwards, he's been photographing the Queen and the royal family for years. He said just after seeing that he hadn't seen scenes like that since Princess Diana had toured Tokyo, to give you that sense of scale. So Brisbane really turned it on today. I don't know if anybody turned up to work, but they all seem to be down on the riverbanks, and the crowds were some 20, 30 deep. It really was an extraordinary turnout, and the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, and particularly her staff, would have been particularly pleased by the reception today. Yeah, wonderful turnout, and a good day to be out in the sunshine by the looks of it. Now, the Queen is going to spend the night in Canberra, Rezo, before another busy day of official engagements. Yeah, flies back down tonight, as we said, stays in Government House in Yarralumla, then up early tomorrow morning. She'll be going through the Australian War Memorial and seeing particularly the Afghan Memorial, the new Afghanistan conflict memorial there, meeting with some Australian veterans, and we're told more than likely the 2 VC winners will be there to meet her Queen, the Queen. And then on Wednesday, of course, the visit to Melbourne. That night she will fly off to Perth to do the official ceremonies, the opening of CHOGM, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. Sam.
Okay. Chris Reason in Brisbane, thank you very much.